Hey, what it do with the business is
Big Snow. Nah, it is another week in the books. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown if you're looking for me on social media.
Absolutely. And this week for the Big Sno Fall review, my man hit me up. He said, Spike Lou, if y'all are reviewing Jeezy, I got to be in on this. And to be honest, I don't know if Nicki Dusse, Mr. No Disrespect, is coming to hate on it or give it props. But we will see. We will see, because he was definitely hating on that Jay-Z verse. If you guys don't know, now you know of Mr. No Disrespect himself. Nicki Dusse, what's up, sir?
What's going on? I feel like my character has been misrepresented on this platform. That's why I had to come on here.
That's why you here.
And Lou's been trying to keep me off too, because it's the umpteenth time I asked him, like, can I be on a review? And he's like, all right, I'm gonna let you come through for Jeezy. But nah,
I did. I had to clear the schedule out for you. I did a whole clear out.
I appreciate y'all. I mean, y'all busy. I got a lot of folks coming through. So yeah, I appreciate y'all making time for me.
We appreciate you stopping by, man. We'll let you do your drops at the end of the episode, and the people can find out where they find you. But before we get into the episode this week, man, JID said he could have signed with another label. We'll see if that would have been better off for him. Lil Baby has his most successful week ever. We want to know that surprised you guys. And Drummer Boy says Atlanta has been replaced as the hip hop hotbed of the South. But first, it was homecoming weekend. Drake was down here. It was 21 Savage's birthday. It was Freaknik 2022 in Atlanta. They dropped a brand new video for their Jimmy Crooks song, which was awful. That video was super trash. But Drake and 21 Savage did announce an album this weekend coming out October 28th. Animal Brown, I'm going to start with you since you're the biggest Drake stan in the world.
True.
What do you think about this release? Are you waiting on this 21 Savage Drake album?
Yeah, I'm here for this. I'm here for any new Drake, I'm assuming, rap album. He switched up the vibe on the last joint, which turned some people off. So people have been clamoring for a more traditional hip-hop sounding project from Drake. Drake is already 1 for 1 with the collabs, because the joint with him and Future is supremely underrated, in my opinion. I thought that project worked on multiple levels. So I'm curious to see what he can do with 21 Savage. 21 Savage sounds his best when he's on Drake records. Now, whether that's a coincidence or not, maybe somebody wants to get into that. Maybe not.
Ghost, right?
You said it, not me.
Nasty work, right?
I do think their joints are pretty solid. The title is throwing me off. I don't know what type of vibe this is about to be. Her Loss. I don't know where we're going with that. But Jimmy Crooks was the standout record from the last album because it was the most traditional sounding joint. And so if it's more of that, let's make it happen. I'm here for it.
Nicki Dusse, what do you think?
It's crazy how AB can try to compliment somebody, diss them, and also compliment another artist in that compliment. Because that's what you did for 21. You got to put more respect on 21's name, bro. He sounds great. I put him in that Rick Ross category where he's progressively gotten better as an artist, as a rapper with every project. So I mean, not Ross now, but I'm just saying, like, There was a time where it was like, you wasn't even paying attention to Ross lyrically. And now it's like, okay, you can't sleep on him. Same thing now with 21. When he wanted to turn it on, I feel like he could spit. Am I excited for this project? It's something, it's interesting. I won't say I'm excited. I think I'm just more interested, because I do agree with AB. I think What a Time to Be Alive was definitely underrated, but that was mostly because it showed how much Future was taking over the game, because Drake was riding on his wave, that whole project. So you know what I'm saying? Like, even though Drake was a artist in his own right, I'm just saying, like, that project, you can clearly see, like, I think that was the same year that Future dropped Dirty Sprite 2 or something like that. It was a 6 months difference in between that. But now I want to see 21 and Drake. I mean, the production better be fire, better be Metro, somebody behind the boards doing some shit. And I think it's going to be at least good records, at least one club banger, at least one for the streets. That's all everybody asking for anyway.
I'm surprised you guys, both being big Drake fans, aren't a little bit like ready for this. Like, I feel like this is what we wanted or were asking for as far as an event. That subpar dance Drake record that he put out would not suffice as far as what we needed for hip hop from him this year. So I do think around 21 Savage's birthday, announcing it, making this a big deal, I'm excited about it. A lot more excited than I would have been had Drake not put that dance album out. And I think since he's a student of the game, since he listens to critiques, we can tell that he kind of keeps up with what's going on. I hope, like you said, AB, that this isn't some like singy, songy where they're going to be doing something weird on here. But I do hope now that we get to hear Drake rap to wrap the year up. Like I want to hear that. I'm excited about this. So I'm a 21 Savage fan, probably more so than both of you guys. But I do like 21 Savage. I've liked him for a long time. And I agree with you, Nick. He's gotten a lot better lyrically. I don't know how that happened, but he has a lot more clever, I would say. It ain't no like deep bars, but the bars are clever. Exactly. So whoever's been helping him, I appreciate it. So I'm excited for this. Like it's gonna be one of the ones that I'm looking forward to for the rest of the year.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I wonder what, because you spoke to this with the Future and Drake. That project took Future identity more or less, and then Drake kind of adapted to that. Mm-hmm. The same way Watch the Throne, you could argue, took Kanye's identity with the production, and Jay just kind of got in where he fit in. I wonder whose identity this would take. I'm going to assume 21 Savage only because Drake is a little more versatile, but that's just my assumption.
I mean, it would have to be 21.
That would be my preference. I would prefer it be 21 style and Drake coming on there like just doing his Drake thing on some 21 Savage records. Excuse me. What were you about to say, Nick?
No, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like Lou, with you being excited for if this year is going to be wrapped up with you being excited about a Drake and 21 collab album, that means to me it's been a down year. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should be more standout records than like us getting a random like mixtape.
I said this last week. It feels like rap is kind of like getting like the dunk contest. Like stuff has came out and there been some oohs, some 10s or whatnot where you're gonna flash the car, but it ain't been an overall like impressive year. I would say, like, what was that, last year when we had Cole and all, everybody dropped? When was the last time we had big records?
I feel like people say this every year for the last 10 years.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like last year was a better year, even though we got a Kendrick Lamar album this year.
Yeah, I mean, like, Kendrick was nice, but at this point, he can't top himself. Like, it's kind of where Kanye got when he got to his 5th, 6th album. It's like, all right, we just want to see if you can be consistent at this point. We already know you can't really top some of these records that you already did. But I feel like outside of his project, I think you're right, Lou. Like, I think last year was better somehow, some way, but this year is kind of more of like, it's nice, but but I've heard better music.
You know what the difference is for me in saying that now? You pointed out too. Last year I wasn't expecting as much as I was this year. This year I knew like Kendrick was slated, Future had an album come out, Drake dropped. Like, I was expecting a lot more, and then when I got it was like, oh, okay, it's cool. But last year I wasn't expecting a lot, but then when it came, I was like, oh, damn, I was surprised. Like, the Vince Staples surprised me a lot. I can't really recall off the top of my head now what it was, but I was just more impressed because my expectations were lower, probably.
2021 was a good year.
I think there's more solid records when we looking at doing our top 10s. Mm-hmm. I think we'll realize it was more decent music or good music than we may be giving credit, though.
Harder time to put that 10 together, you think, this year?
Possible. Well, not to me. Nah, I think I can always find 10.
I mean, like, decide.
You digging in the couch at that point, Wood.
I'm saying which 10 make it, though. Which 10 make it? Is it going to be a lot more than 10 that should be in there is what I mean.
Oh, I see what you mean. Is it going to be harder to make them decisions? Maybe not. It may be a little clearer this year.
Okay. Gotcha.
Next up, man, your boy JID. Lou is a huge fan of Jid.
Sorry, who is this again?
Yeah, Dreamville's own. He paid a visit to Breakfast Club. Told a nice gem, man. Talked about how he almost signed to an Atlanta record label by the name of QC, Quality Control, of course, home of Lil Baby, Migos, etc. Simple question, Lou. Would that have worked out better for his career than him signing with Dreamville?
Man, listen. I haven't seen the act that Coach K and P and them haven't been able to market correctly. And I say that if JID had been on QC under their tutelage, then I feel like you get a totally different approach for what you're putting out in the market. With Cole, it's like another nigga that can rap on J. Cole's label. If he had been on QC, no disrespect to anyone over there, but he would have been the only nigga that could rap like that on their label. So if I can dumb that down enough where he's talented enough where it ain't got to be bars, lyrical miracle. So I can put JID on a Migos song. I can put him on a Lil Baby song. I can put that little formula together that QC has, and he would be a lot bigger of a star than he would under Dreamville. Maybe J. Cole was his idol and he wanted to do the Dreamville thing because lyrically he feels like he matches up better. But if he had that deal on the table with Coach K first, he made a bad decision in going with Dreamville.
Nicki, do you agree?
1000%. I was literally just talking to one of my homies about JID. I was like, because he dropped that album at the Forever Store, and I was like, I asked him how it was. And he was like, you ain't listened to it yet? I was like, man, that was one of them albums like I was gonna get to it. But I was thinking, I was like, but damn, like I actually do fuck with JID. Why wasn't I pressed? And it's because of how J. Cole markets him. I feel like he took the Jay-Z handbook too seriously when it comes to how to groom an artist. Because I'm like, damn, like, when was the last time JID was on a J. Cole album? Or like, how many records do they have collaborated? Like, how much, push has J. Cole done for these niggas? And I'm just calling them out because I hold Dreamville to the standard of a TDE, to a QC, because they have talent on there. They got Ari Lennox. They have a talented kid like JID. Well, he ain't a kid no more. This nigga damn near pushing 40 now. I looked at it, I thought he was younger than he is, about 30-something. But then they also have they have a lot of good talent. And you would think that they will be a lot bigger than what they are. Like they have their whole roster is artists who should be bigger than what they are. Like even Boss. Like Boss knows how to songwrite, knows how to write records and all this shit. Why is he not a bigger artist? Like, I think if JID was on QC, like to me, like J. Cole saw the talent in JID 2 years earlier than anybody else, but QC would have made JID an artist 2 years earlier than what J. Cole was trying to do. Yeah, like he would have made him a star.
Yeah, that's fair. And we'll go ahead and make it a clean sweep. I do think QC would have been a better look. It's the local label, number one. Then number two, you have that hit making capability with some of the artists and producers that he would have at his disposal. I think there would be more of that. He doesn't necessarily fit with the label, you could argue, but that doesn't necessarily stop something from working. We've seen people that wouldn't have been fits. Like Snoop didn't technically fit with No Limit. You know what I'm saying?
Kanye didn't fit with Rockefeller.
Wale didn't fit with MMG technically, right, but you can still make it work because they have the capability. They're good artists. So the good music is going to come. They just can leverage those relationships for when they need to, when you need a Wale to get on a 600 Benz, or you need a Kanye to get on something a little bit more that he wouldn't have gotten on previously. So I think they could have done the same thing with him. But I'm not going to act like QC is undefeated, though. There are a couple of artists on QC that they tried and failed with. They just don't get the notoriety like the other ones do. Rich the Kid on line one, OG Mako, Johnny Cinco, Jose Guapo. Like a lot of these people on QC that didn't turn out to be Lil Babies, bro.
None of those guys are talented like JID, though.
That's debatable.
You brought up a great point with the Wale and MMG and even Kanye with Rockefeller. It would have been just different and so much more interesting to see. I wonder how long before these Dreamville artists in J. Cole office like, look, bro, something got to change, because you can't take the approach that he has had throughout his career that made him successful to all of these artists, bro. It just don't work. Like they ain't catching like they should as all of us being fans of rap. Like I never see these niggas' names other than when it's a Dreamville project coming out.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that, to me, it was like once AB started listening to those artists that sound like Rap Snacks flavors, like I'm like, bruh, let's give more credit to JID. He is a uber talented artist. Like most Def don't rap on niggas projects like that. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he got him in the booth is like, all right, somebody sees the talent outside of us. But my thing is like that makes you also even more upset with J. Cole. Like, bruh, this nigga could have been Drake or you know what I'm saying, on your label, to where you could have been like, he may even be bigger than me based on how talented he is. And that's the push that I need to give him.
And it ain't even like J. Cole just putting out an album here. This nigga hooping in Africa. Like, bro, I would be so mad if my CEO averaging 3 points a game playing 8 minutes in Uganda. Bro, give me my release papers today.
That's a fact, bro. That's a fact.
Y'all speak on 2022 being a down year, but a lot of people have that JID in their top 10 easy. Like for people that have heard it. Have you heard anyone say it was trash or anything other than exceptional?
They fuck with it. They fuck with it.
That's part of say I haven't listened to it either like that. I gave it one run, but it's not one of them ones you just listen to.
But isn't that crazy though? That like you say it's an exceptional album
from what I've heard.
Exactly, but yet you're not pressed.
You don't even want to listen to it.
That's a fact.
Same thing here. I've listened to it one time.
I ran
one time, bro, and I was like, damn, this is all right. I've never gone.
I ran through that Quavo Neff and Few twice more than and that's just off the strength of QC. you know what I'm saying?
It's something to it, man. I don't know. You're right, though.
Speaking of QC, before we get into this Sno Fall review from Young Jeezy, Lil Baby dropped last week. Check out that review we did on the On Deck TV show. Lil Baby sold 216 his first week. Nick, I'll kick this one off to you first. Are you surprised at the success Lil Baby had from this previous release?
I'm not surprised. It's just impressive, I would say. I'm not surprised it's impressive because again, you don't see niggas moving units like they used to, period. So anybody who does over 150K and me is like, all right, this is a superstar. So to see that he's still able to garner that audience, to garner that level of excitement and attention is impressive because usually, like I think Lou, we was just having this conversation about this as far as like artists who they run and usually don't last as long as how we remember it. It's usually only about 2-3 years. And then we move on to the next artist. I thought Lil Baby was, his time was a little bit up, you know what I'm saying? But this project kind of shows that he still had it. Now, as far as my personal opinion, I thought the project wasn't as good as the last one. But to see that he still has staying power, but those numbers show that.
Facts. Yeah, for sure. He's a popular artist. Whether how I feel about the album or whatever, that really doesn't matter. The numbers are the numbers. But I'm not surprised that he did these numbers. He's been everywhere these last 2 weeks. Like, I didn't see him on Twitch. I didn't see him on The Breakfast Club. I didn't see him at Hot 97 or Angie or whatever. He has been out more than I've ever seen this nigga been out. And you remember when he first went to The Breakfast Club, he barely talked.
Yeah. Now
he is out here talking, kind of getting out of his shell. Looks to be a little bit more comfortable. He done sneaker shopping. He's on this. They have put the full court press on this promo run, as they should. I'm not mad at it because he didn't really have a single to go along with this, which was what disappointed me. Like man, turn that bullshit on. Hey, that shit is trash. Like an artist of his stature, you would think would have 2 joints going leading up to the album, something for the streets and something for the radio, and they both would slap. He didn't have either. And so I'm a little surprised at the numbers, but I guess it makes sense because of the promo and the anticipation.
You touching on why I'm impressed more than like shocked. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And I agree with both of you, especially at that last part, AB. I'm not surprised because he got the full kit. Like whatever label had this label, other than QC, whoever it was distributed through, they did their goddamn job. Motown did their job. Like you said, dude was everywhere. However, I don't hear the song. So that's the scary part, to wonder, will they do it again next time? It may speak to where we are in the game now. Like, it ain't really about what you got in rotation, but how prevalent you are to the zeitgeist. Like you said, he everywhere. He sneaker shopping, Breakfast Club, like Lil Baby name, even the memes where motherfuckers got him doing crazy shit. I done seen those like amped up where he dancing in the background and making some weird faces. I seen those times 10 since his album has came out. But like you said, I haven't heard anything but people making fun of the song. Hey, like doing a little, like it was cheesy. But he still sold 216. However, I wonder, does this concern them? Because I don't hear anything, like ain't nothing consistently playing. NBA just started. When J. Cole dropped last time, his stuff was all over NBA promo. I don't hear Lil Baby song anywhere.
Yeah, and you're not.
It makes me wonder, and this is Conspiracy Nick right now. Bro, where are these numbers coming from? That was the thing that I got, that AB was touching on it. I was like, bruh, how do you? That's what I'm saying, bro. It sounds. I feel like, what was it off of Pootie Tang when the nigga he had a song that had nothing going on. It seemed like, bro, this is the hit record you talk about, because I don't hear Nathan. Like
exactly.
Like when My Turn came out, I was like, bro, you was hearing record after record.
Yeah,
everywhere.
I talked about it earlier, like how he had those little singles that came out that wasn't really moving. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I said this on the show leading up to it, man. He was 1 for about 6 from the field this year, bro. Like quietly on the low, the songs weren't sticking. So who knows, man? How many getting their streams from machines? What J. Cole say?
Oh man, stop it. However, I mean, I would be very interested to see how quickly he drops again after this. Like, do they give him some time just to cool off, or does he get right back in there and put better music out? Because I'm sure he got to know too. Like, he got to be reading and know the comments too. Like, this ain't really just it or what you thought it was gonna be, but it did the numbers they wanted it to.
Well, we know now. I feel like moving forward with rapping, I think Wayne kind of set this tone back then, and Gucci. You got to just flood the streets with music. Like, you're going to pop eventually. Like, it's just kind of like getting shots up in the gym. Like, eventually you're going to go on a hot streak. You know what I'm saying? It may take you a little bit, but eventually you're just going to start eating and start cashing in on all that. I think when artists go cold and start focusing on other shit, you forget about the music, you get rusty, you get crusty, and then we forget about you. You know what I'm saying? That's how it is.
I barely pay attention to numbers anymore, just due to streaming. It meant a lot more when you actually had to go out and buy the CD, in my opinion, in terms of counting numbers. It's too easy to manipulate that shit, bro.
That's a fact, and it meant some more. I mean, we must be sounding old right there, but just having to go get it and picking it up.
What does 200,000? What does 200,000 sales mean on Apple Music? How many times? Like that to me, I don't get the algorithm behind it, and so I'm like, bro, what does that mean? Yeah, it's somebody in Iowa that love that shit that's running it up, bro. It's just one motherfucker, bro.
Like, is it one motherfucker that's trying to run it up? Like, yeah, that makes sense.
Hey. Man, before we get out of here to the Jeezy topic, let's take it to Memphis, man. Your boy Drummer Boy was on TMZ, and he's saying that Memphis took the hip hop crown from Atlanta. He also said that his album will further prove that. So if anybody was wondering why he was on TMZ to begin with, he's pumping an album. Simple question, Lou. Is this true? Did Memphis take the rap crown from ATL?
Being a Tennessee native, Nashville notably, not Memphis though, 4 hours away from people that always say that. Being a Tennessee native though, I wanted to agree with Drummer Boy so bad because I got some artists that I liked from Memphis as well. But when I'm looking up and down from top to bottom, like there is no Lil Baby in Memphis. Like the closest thing they would have is Moneybagg Yo. Glorilla's hot. She's new. She's young, but Atlanta got Lotto. And then when you're talking about from a depth standpoint, I just don't think that Memphis has enough hitters to go with Atlanta. Now, when you're talking about underground shit and shit that people from Memphis fuck with that maybe not have made it nationwide yet, that you may have a little bit of a case. However, when we talk about mainstream big dog artists and we running the landscape of rap, that's still the A. Like, it still goes down here. This is still Wakanda. Though Memphis is on their heels, and me personally, I like Detroit a lot. I think Detroit got a really strong next up thing to come. But that's me.
Nicki, who got the crown right now?
Well, since Lewis, I forgot how old Lou is. He's 75 years old, so he can't see the forest from the trees. And two things can be true about what Drummer Boy said. One, he's hyping the fuck out of his album. Let's keep it a full beat. And two, he's absolutely correct. I've been trying to tell people about this for the last 5 years. Memphis has dominated hip hop. If you're talking about hits, like the Memphis sound is what has dominated. Ever since Drake caught on that wave with that Block Boy JB, if you listen to it, that's when all that Take Keith shit, that runs happen, and it's still kind of going on till this day. Shit, I think even Kanye's taking some of that shit too. My thing is Memphis, like the fact that Lou, I do agree that it's still like Atlanta may be there, a little edge right up there, but Memphis is right. Tennessee, the whole state of Tennessee, arguably. But Memphis is right there just because you actually have artists that can go against these people. You name two artists that could possibly go against two other artists in Atlanta. You can't say that about New York. You can't say that about Cali right now. You can't say that about like with a male hip hop artist and a female hip hop artist who got records right now that are actively in the streets. You can't say that about other states or regions outside of right now the South between Memphis or Tennessee and Georgia with Atlanta. Like, I think that Drummer Boy has been hitting on something. Like, you got Lil Migo, you just named Moneybagg Yo, CMG, arguably as the label alone, probably the hottest label right now with all the talent they got. Like,
and I'm glad you touched on that. Memphis has the ingredients to take the #1 spot. They've got a hot label. They've got a nice mix of veterans and young talent. They have a producer with his own sound. They have a nice mix because that's what you need. You can't just have one dude with a hit. No, you need the producer. You need the whole full spectrum. You need the label, the producer, the sound, the history, the young jacks, the female. You need all of, because Atlanta has all of that. Right. And so that's the thing. Does it have enough I think Atlanta may be a little bit deeper with hitting those checkpoints, but Memphis can check all of those off. Atlanta could check them off a little deeper. They can check them off more than once. That's the only thing that's tipping the scale, but Memphis is on their heels, though. So, you want to talk about Big 30, nigga, if Pooh Shiesty was still out. Yeah. Like, bro, like they
and I know y'all, all the Glorilla homegirls.
All 20 of them.
All 8 of them.
Yeah, I know y'all don't fuck with this artist, but Isaiah Rashad has a big fan base. Like people fuck with him, so it's like, I'm just saying.
That ain't even really.
I'm saying Tennessee in general.
That ain't even really Tennessee. That's like North Georgia.
No, that ain't really music, nigga. That shit garbage.
Hey, when he dropped, he was top 5.
Let me ask y'all this though. So you brought up a good point with the ingredients, and you could argue that Tip, when he was in his prime as the king of the South, he kind of led the way for Atlanta. Is Yo Gotti still in that position to do so for Memphis, or has that time passed him?
No,
as an artist or as an exec?
Just period. Like, could Yo Gotti be the face of I'm gonna usher Memphis run in, or is it like past
doing it?
I was about to say, like, he's like, when did he not do it? Like, when does he do? Like,
there's people still don't fuck with him. Like, he beefing right now with niggas in Memphis about.
I mean, it's because of the, like, honestly, if it wasn't for Dolph passing, like, I would even further stamp what Drummer Boy said. Like, Dolph had his thing going, and he was about to do his thing.
Dolph was a big hit.
And then I mean, you still got Key Glock and them out there too. So it's like there was about to be a whole movement. Yep. It was going to be a civil war in Tennessee / Memphis, but it was going to be a movement nonetheless. With Dolph passing, it just focuses more on Gotti. But Gotti's been a mastermind in this whole shit. Like, low key, he has probably risen the highest of heights. He's on that Ross level now, where it's like he ain't like he can do whatever he want.
And he finally got Angela Simmons. He finally bagged her.
He been shooting that shot for a minute.
Shooting that shot for
decades. She's been every year. She's been Googling his net worth. It got to the number.
Yeah, he finally like, okay,
I can throw him some pussy now.
I can bring you in front of my dad now.
Exactly.
You can sit with Russ now.
Hey, that nigga balled in on the soccer team, nigga, just to sit at the table with Russ.
Exactly.
Hey, one person you forgetting too. Finesse 2 times from Memphis.
I forgot about my boy. Now Atlanta don't got that. They ain't got that young hood nigga Gucci Jeezy type that's come like Finesse got it on lock. And
they on their heels. That's all I'm saying. This is good for hip hop too. I like this though. I like
definitely good.
I love it.
It's a fact.
Speaking of Jeezy, like you said, Sno Fall, the new project with DJ Drama. Let the record reflect. I predicted this DJ Drama wave that's happening right now. Shout out to me. Want to give myself props. Thank you.
It took a long time. It was 3 years ago.
It did. I called it 3 years ago. I was definitely 2 years early, but it is here. He dropped 2 projects, one with Snoop and one with Jeezy this week. Sno Fall, you know how we get down, man. Initial thoughts, highlights, lowlights, rating. First expectations. I know Lou's a Jeezy fan for sure, but Nicki, let's start with you, man. What's your expectations going into this Jeezy project?
I'm a Jeezy fan too. I mean, shit. Even though I grew up in Cincinnati, shit, we felt the thug motivation up there too. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't ban the snowman either. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I grew up a Jeezy fan and all that. Now I'm an honest Jeezy fan though. I don't know about Lou, but I'm an honest Jeezy fan. It ain't been good for a little minute now. Though them shirts was looking a little faded with the snowman. The snow was melted.
When he was doing the preacher thing, it wasn't nothing. Yeah,
I actually Lou, like I think that's actually an underrated album by his. I think everything after that is kind of like my expectation was actually very high because it's drama. And like you mentioned, AB, drama lately has been on a run, and I'm so glad about it because now I know I'm getting older like y'all, because I'm feeling like, damn, I remember a time when drama was dropping shit and niggas was excited. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna never really get that no more. We maybe only be getting this in spurts. and I don't think really people appreciate what we've been getting. Like the fact that Tyler the Creator did that whole album with like that just speaks to the culture of DJ Drama and that Gangsta Grill series. So hearing that whole gangster, like hearing the was it Lil Jon Echo Gangsta, like it just I don't know around this project, like I definitely had high expectations.
Lou, where was you at? Was you gearing up, ready for this, hype for this?
I was scared, man. Like Jeezy has traumatized me post like recession as far as what you can expect from albums. Some of them been
that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. That's when he was at his peak, the last. And from there, you've had good stuff, you've had really good, and you've had really bad stuff too. There's been a wide spectrum, just depending on where he was feeling in his career. Hearing him talk on the Breakfast Club, I very rarely check that out, but you said it was a good interview, so I tapped in with Snowman, and knowing that drama was around it, the B-side stuff as far as the concert was surrounded, so it almost made me think, okay, maybe he is finally in that bag that we always wanted him, like post career, telling stories of the old dope man, whatever it may be, just the old head stories that I was always looking for from him when he got in his prime. I thought that we would maybe get that on this album because it was back with drama. So I had some high expectations for it because I felt like he was over looking for a hit. He was over trying to catch one. I'm just going to put some shit out that I know people that fuck with Jeezy are going to fuck with. I'm going to grab drama. We're going to get back in our bag. That's what I was expecting. So I was kind of anticipating this. What you say, bro?
I had to temper my expectations for the simple fact that it's a Jeezy project in 2022. Like, let's be all the way. Let's keep it all the way a stack. Wow. The last three projects at best are mid. I'm talking about at absolute max is mid. So he just doesn't have it anymore in terms of the song making ability, and that's okay. His legacy is already stamped. However, the rollout, doing the mixtape B-side only show and doing it with drama and the rollout fit. I did like that. I would have preferred him do the show here, someplace where nigga could actually got a ticket and went and sat down and enjoyed the show at the Fox. I know we talked about that. That would have been nice. I'm not going to no hole in the wall ass club to watch Jeezy perform and I'm standing up the whole time. Nigga, I'm entirely too old for that. But I see he got it right in Detroit though. That shit look lit. I'm hot about that. But anyway, the rollout almost got me to get a little excited about the project, but the single, I didn't really like the single. I ain't gonna hold you. The tempo was way too fast. He was in this Detroit shit. I'm cool on that. The beat sound like fucking Contra from like Super Nintendo. Like I was super good on that, but I was somewhat awaiting a chance to listen to this because it was him and Drama back at it, and Drama been on a roll lately.
It's still Michael Jackson Jeezy. No, good on Michael Jackson Jeezy. That's a slaw nickname. That nigga was super.
That was true.
He was on Breakfast Club like that was a fly ass nigga. Yeah, they call me that down in Florida. Like no, they don't.
No one does. No one does.
Never heard anybody say that.
No, only his girl do.
yeah. No, they don't. They don't do that. Bro.
No, I feel like that single was only for like because the NBA season's out now. I feel like that was like an NBA season. Like that's the single that they gonna play. Yeah, like something for the commercial shit. Cause commercial Jeezy is still that's part of the Jeezy that we don't like. You know what I mean?
That's a good G League commercial, not the NBA shit, man.
The WNBA, man.
That's a WNBA commercial.
Y'all foul. Yeah, man. That's what Brittany Griner's playing when she coming out.
WNBA coming off the plane. Sure.
Hey, she coming off the plane. I ain't gonna hold you. What? I'll be fired on real talk.
That shit would be
fired.
What were your initial thoughts on the album, AB? What stuck out to you?
The intro grabbed me immediately, and it gave me that nostalgic feel that I was looking for. I was like, okay, and I'm talking about the layered ad-libs, the running the track back. We're like, oh shit, like it was taking me back. So I was definitely feeling that just off top, just the vibe. It put me in that 06, 07 kind of mood, which I was looking for. And then just initial thoughts of going through the rest of the project, I felt like there was sprinkles of that throughout. I immediately thought it was better than Pressure and TM 108 or whatever the fuck the last one was. I immediately was like, okay, this is better than the last couple. mainly due to one, a nostalgic feel with the DJ drama drops and shit, but also the production. I thought the production slipped on the last couple. They sounded real independent. This one sounded a little bit more put together, had a little bit of a budget behind it. But that was my knock on the last couple, was they were just independent and they sound like they were throwaways to get out of a contract. So I listened and I said, oh, okay, Jeezy may still have a little bit left in the tank. I don't know if he can have multiple projects moving forward off of this. I don't know if it's that strong, but at least he still had it in him to take me back there one last time if this is it. Not saying he alluded to that. I'm just saying this. What he say? He owned half of Atlanta. He probably don't need to rap no more, honestly. So if this is coming toward the end, I wasn't mad at it on that first listen. It actually took me back a little bit, even with the opening line. Busy like the chef at the da-da-da-da. Like that's a Jeezy line. You know what I'm saying? Like that takes you back.
Facts.
So that's kind of where I was on that first listen.
And that Papa Do's on Windy Hill be
and it be jumping too. That's what I'm saying.
Chef be busier. Nick, what you think on your first?
Man, this shit, bro. Lou, I was about to go put a down payment on an 06 Honda Civic and start moving.
Going back and forth to the
net. I was gonna start driving back and forth on I-75. All you gotta do is take that shit up top. You'll get to Detroit eventually. But nah, it took me back, bro. I ain't gonna shit. I'm already saying I ain't gonna hold you. It took me back. You know what I mean? Like it was. Like AB said, it was a phenomenal intro. Like the drama drops, the run backs, and then like I know Jeezy's not a lyrical dude, right, but for some reason I feel like his words just hit hard, almost like a Jay-Z verse or like a hard like a hard verse from like your favorite rapper. It hits just as hard, even though he's saying some of the most basic shit.
Right.
Think of. Now, like
you're right though. I was listening to it and I thought, man, he sound a little wiser now. It ain't just lyrical and nothing like that. It just sounds a little bit wiser. He may still even be saying the same thing, but you hear it and you're like, oh, okay.
But that's part of his charm, though. When those lines hit, they're simple, Facts. but they hit right in pocket with the beat and the horns and his go-to Facts. Type of production. Like they fit right in that lane, and he had been missing that lately. So I'm with you on that.
I feel like the precursor for this was the ESTG verse, The Realest, that whole song. I feel like that's what Facts. And I feel like that's what kind of got him in this mode. I was here for it. Just like the thing that y'all said, the intro, it brought back the memories, the doubling it back, all of that shit worked 100%. And again, it wasn't 2005 trying to be 2022 Jeezy either. This was a grown man. I like a lot of the themes that he was going with on the album. Like you could turn back, because I still listen to Trap or Die. The themes were totally different now as far as what he's talking about, but it don't lose any of that Jeezy charm that you're talking about, AB. He did a good job of just being a grown man on this album. And I think he finally found that pocket that he'd been looking for when we were talking about the Church for the Streets and all these other albums that kind of fell on their face because he was trying to be too preachy. Here, it's like, nigga, I'm Jeezy. Like, if you don't know, then I don't even know what you here for. I like the arrogance of the album. Some of the beats didn't work, like, because they were kind of fast for me, and we'll get into that as far as our likes and dislikes of the album. But on initial run, I was proud of this. I know how a New York nigga feels that really fuck with Jim Jones, and Jim Jones putting out quality music still today. How they feel now, like this is something that I
don't do that, Lou. Don't do that, Lou. Don't do that.
What do you mean?
Don't throw a Jim Jones. Don't try to put these niggas.
I was a New York nigga.
No. Nah. I'll say Styles P. You know what I'm saying? I'll say Jadakiss. Nah, bro.
Niggas try to act like the Lobby Boys was fucking the goddamn Watch the Throne.
Hey, you know who listens to the Lobby Boys? Niggas on
Tim Zone in May.
Niggas on Park Ave. That's it. That's where they stay at. They the Central Park 5 boys.
I know how they feel now. I get it. I used to look at them and be like, man, you don't cut that old shit off. But I know a nigga would look at me listening to that Jeezy like that.
Nah, Jeezy got more respect from that. But I do agree with what you said though. Like this actually made you roll the windows down when you playing this. Some other Jeezy Jeezy records, you got the windows up. You know what I'm saying? You be a closeted Jeezy fan. You like, I'm just going off the strength. You know what I'm saying? I'm just hoping the nigga get the spin. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Nick, tell me what your jump out highlights were for the album. Like what songs?
We already mentioned it. We already mentioned the intro, but Put the Minks Down. I gotta mention. Is it 42 Dugg or 42 Dugg?
42.
42 Dugg is, people need to kind of watch that. He's sneaky. You need to watch some of his verses. You be like, oh shit, this nigga actually, he on his own. But yeah, like Put the Minks Down, Put the Minks Down to King's Crown. I think that was a great transition. I like those two records. And then I'll probably end it with the Still Having. Oh no. Actually, MJ Jeezy. I'll put on MJ Jeezy.
Horrible nickname, but the song was cool. You're right.
Song was cool.
AB, what you got?
Three things that kind of stuck out to me. Number one, the production. Shout out to I saw him in the studio with Justice League, and I was like, oh, wait a minute now. Hold on now. Like, where these niggas been at?
I forgot about them.
Do you see what I'm saying? Me too. And they built Ross, or they helped build Ross at least.
No, you're right. You had it right. They built him up. Bro.
And so I've been wondering where they've been at. So I was looking forward to that because that's what he's been missing with these last handful of joints was production. So the production stood out. A couple joints. I love Colors. That be hard as fuck to me. Again,
of course, it's horrible though.
He said who?
Horrible hook.
The hook is. Yeah, I mean it's okay. I'm letting it slide. I'm letting it ride through the bit like Batman. Yeah, like I'm letting it ride. The beat too hard.
Beat is hard.
I also like, even though I don't really like this beat too much either though, but it's funny. I like Still Having. It reminded me of BG and Birdman, Made Man. It kind of gave me that vibe. And I like Grammy, which I think is throwback Snowman. So those three kind of just stuck out. Just as joints to ride in the whip. They sound good in the whip. Like you said, windows down. It's 73 outside. I can pull up and open the door while I'm getting out of the shoe store or something. And I don't look crazy that I'm listening to that. It's kind of like, that shit hit. Nigga, that shit sound good opening the door, getting out.
Want to buy another pair of shoes or something.
Right. So I'm copping something in there and when I'm pulling up listening to that. So those are the three that stuck out to me.
For me, first and foremost, the sample, the How Deep Is Your Love from that Keith Sweat.
That's banging.
That reminded me of some old mixtape shit again. Also the Still Having. Again, I agree with you on that. I definitely like that. And mine Put the Minks Down. Y'all know 42 Dugg, and I spoke of the Detroit scene earlier. He's one of my favorite young artists. He killed it. It was a perfect song for Jeezy and 42 Dugg. That transitioning into my dislikes, man, that ESTG and Jeezy, I was expecting a lot more, especially off the album. Somebody got gypped on that swap out. I ain't gonna say no names, Jeezy, but if you got that, the realest, and he got this, something didn't shake back right.
That realist would have hit on here too, though.
That's what I thought. Added it on as a
bonus track. That should have just been a bonus track.
Took this off and just shared the song. I've seen artists do that.
Both of y'all have it on here. That would have been facts. I didn't like Plug on him. That kind of, when you got to that, it didn't hit for me. And the youngest, like, I feel like that shouldn't have been Lil Durk. I feel like it should have been Baby or just some Atlanta nigga. And I don't really know the street politics of Atlanta right now. More niggas fuck with Gucci than they do with Jeezy. That's why he couldn't get no like hot people from Atlanta on here. But I don't see Lil Durk and the Jeezy. I didn't like that combo at all.
It didn't
work.
I think that was more drama trying to get them together than Jeezy trying to.
It didn't.
I think drama's still trying to be like, he still got Uzi and Jack Harlow, so he's trying to still connect to like the youth. So that was
that's me. Like I said, I like the project. That's just me nitpicking it. What's some things that didn't work for you, AB?
I could have used some more Atlanta features, just to make it.
Gucci got him more ice out here, nigga.
Yeah. Matter of fact, a Gucci feature, I know highly unlikely. It would have been a moment though. I don't know which joint off the top of my head, but it would have been cool to see, bro. Like that would have been a full circle moment with some of the themes on here that he's talking about, like with the
street cred,
with the King's Crown, those type of themes that he's talking about. That would have been a nice full circle moment. I know it's highly unlikely, but that would have been huge.
Him on that street cred now that you mentioned would have been a dope ass look.
That, you see what I'm saying? That would have been dope. And there was maybe a couple of joints off the top of my head I wasn't really feeling. The MJ Jeezy really didn't do nothing for me. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Wow.
I may need to run it back. And the ESTG feature was a letdown. The song actually wasn't that bad to me. I didn't like his feature. I don't think that beat was fit ESTG.
It was like he just mailed him something. Like it's like, oh yeah, you gave me a verse for the realest shit. Here go this, and Jeezy just threw it on something.
Because that's not how G raps. So I didn't like that flow. His flow, he has a certain flow, and it didn't compliment that beat at all.
Nicki, what you got?
Even though I understand the record, I didn't like it. Most hated. Scarface was. To me, I'd rather just hear Scarface. I know Jeezy can probably get a Scarface connect if he can't fuck with. If nobody in Atlanta fuck with him, at least go somewhere in the South, you know. But that one, and I probably would. I think Bruh is a good record in the gym. Outside the gym, it's probably not hitting that hard, bruh.
Yeah.
Way too fast for me. All right, so rating time, fellas. But before we get into ratings, I wrote 5 names down. You only get 4 slots. So this is off the dome. That way you get I get an authentic reaction from both of you. So let's say you're voting for like a Hall of Fame or whatever it may be, and these are the 5 names. One doesn't get in, and you basing it off their careers. Game, Fabulous, Rick Ross, Yo Gotti, and Jeezy. I feel like all of them are the same class, but you gotta leave one of them off. Who you leaving off?
Fab
is a no-brainer, and they're all in the same class.
And that's my guy too. But I like everybody you named. But it's Fab.
What made you pick Fab then?
He doesn't have a classic out of those people you named.
Why you hating on Fab, Nick?
I'm not hating. I'm just keeping it a full beam. Like, what are we talking about? Name me the last 5.
Like y'all kind of
disrespect. I'm saying, Luke, name me the last Fab record that you like album, and what year was that?
Let's be honest though, his mixtapes are better. Like his Soul Tape series is crack.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago.
And what year was that? That's what I'm saying.
That was a decade ago.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Everybody else we can relatively say within the last 2-3 years they dropped the project.
He ain't as active as him. That's why y'all
not even just active, but well, I guess I'll leave it at that. I ain't gonna shit on Fab.
I like Fab though. I'm a fan. It's just, but he doesn't have a classic album. Neither does Jada, honestly. If we can, so really it'd be a coin flip between one of them two.
At first, Jada Kiss though was banging.
Yes, it is. It just ain't a classic.
Okay. All right. Y'all let me know who you guys would take off from that 5, because I feel like the fans would say something different from you guys.
You hoping the fans would say something different, nigga. Who was you gonna take?
That was a good one and everything. I just shocked that shit out of there quick.
Who was you gonna take
off? Probably Fab too. 100% honest.
See?
To get into the ratings, man, 1 to 5 reels, 1 being absolute slaw, and 5 being a classic. AB, what do you rate this?
I mean, I hate to be a broken record, but I'm gonna give it the same thing I gave Lil Baby Project. It's a 3. It's a good worth streaming. I'm not going to act like this is TM 101 all over again, but I'm also not gonna act like it's pressure. So it's right there in the middle. It's a little bit better than I would have expected from a Jeezy project now in this day and age. And I definitely think it's worth a couple of repeat spins. I'd be lying if I didn't say it. I ran back about a handful of these joints while I was listening to it. Like, especially on the way to the gym, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just in a whip, like, stop. So I'm gonna give it a 3, but I'm not gonna go too far. I'm gonna say it's 3. It's good worth streaming.
Nicki Dusse.
I'll say 3.5 reels. I think it. I think because it's a pleasant surprise, I may be boosting it up a little bit, but like AB said, I do have like at least 5 records where I'm like, I'm returning to these, or like when I make my little album cuts to see to like the sweet spot of the album, I have more than just 3 records. And to me, at this point in time, in this state, day that we living in, if a nigga got at least 5 records on the album, it's probably a good album, you know.
Facts. So, today's age, if you got 5 on there, it is a good album. I'm going to go 3 as well. Good, worth streaming, pleasantly surprised. Both good phrases that I would use for this album. My expectations had been tempered throughout, like we talked about with the recent Jeezy drops, but I do feel like he hit this one on the head. He finally found his voice for this stage of his career, and I think that's really commendable.
Real quick, though, because I had a question, too, artists only. Because we've done a Mount Rushmore episode in Atlanta, but we included producers and execs. Artist only. Is Jeezy on the Mount Rushmore of Atlanta?
Gotta be.
Hold on, think about it.
T.I.
Future.
Future and Jeezy. That's it.
Wait, give me hold on. Who was the fourth?
T.I., Andre, Future, and Jeezy.
Ooh,
That's got to be it. Like I couldn't see it no other way. Gucci would.
Gucci got to be on there too. Gucci's too impactful for Atlanta.
He ain't got no one though.
I'll say T.I., Jeezy, Gucci, Future. Damn, that doesn't sound right because I gotta have Andre on there. Andre has to be
like niggas.
He the best rap. He the best
from Atlanta. If you
that's what I'm saying. He's the best rapper out of all of them.
Yeah,
but he has the least amount of material.
I think you would have.
That's hard.
I don't know who you would take. Like Gucci deserves to be on there. I just don't know who I would take off for him unless it was Jeezy.
That's what I was about to say.
Tip off. You can't take Tip off. And you can't take Future off.
No.
So unless it's gonna be Gucci.
To me, if T.I. is credited as what the well, I don't know if it's him or UGK. If he's the one that birthed this whole trap shit,
he didn't, but he's still on there. Like the trap shit came from Jeezy. Like I feel like that shit started with Jeezy and the whole lane of niggas.
Oh, you don't give it to T.I., you give it to Jeezy.
No, I don't give it to T.I. What I give T.I. credit for is being the king of the South. T.I. was the first like big act solo from the South that like I feel like that like universally niggas could relate to, everyday niggas. He wasn't weird like Andre. He wasn't as out there as Big Boy. It wasn't ludicrous. He was like, it wasn't super street like Jeezy, like the everyday Jay-Z New York nigga down south version of that fucked with T.I. He was the first person to do that down south. And then with Jeezy, again, we talking about the Michael Jackson of the trap lane. Andre, the best rapper in Future. We know what he did.
Future
Gucci
might be the most
impactful.
Influential.
Gucci's influence is.
I think that's what I'm saying. Gucci, like all these motherfuckers come from Gucci, damn near. Like it's crazy how Gucci, like he has to be on there. That's what. So I may just do. That's what I'm saying. I may arguably have to take off T.I. if that's the case. If T.I. is not the nigga that you credit as trap, then I have to take him off because I gotta
Atlanta though. Like T.I. ushered Atlanta into.
You just said he a regular nigga like New York.
No. I'm saying like Jay-Z. Like if Jay-Z a regular New York
Jay-Z,
nigga, yeah,
nah,
that's the same version, but it's.
Bro, I'm not having no regular niggas on my Mount Rushmore, bro. I'm sorry.
I mean regular in the sense like Jay-Z regular. This nigga was the Jay-Z. He was literally called the Jay-Z of the South when he
only one nigga called him that, and that was a weird. Only niggas call this. You just talked about how Andre a weirdo, but the nigga who said he the Jay-Z of the South was a weirdo nigga. So I don't know who's stamping Pharrell like that.
This was a very accepted thing. You may have been too young to know that.
No, I remember when I said that. I heard nobody else clap. No one else said anything.
Third or fourth grade.
No, I'm dead ass serious.
What was going on?
Lou, I was aware around that time, bro. I was out there. No one else said Pharrell's right. Give me a quote.
Nobody co-signed that.
Nobody co-signed that shit.
That's the quote. AB, who
just say that Pharrell said this.
Are you putting Gucci on it?
I would put Gucci over Jeezy. Well, man, here's the thing. Jeezy's discography is stronger, but Gucci's impact is bigger because of who came from his tree. We got a whole episode about the Gucci Man effect and how many people came from it, from Bankroll Fresh to Migos to Young Thug to it's a lot. So
that nigga ain't got no TM 101.
Walker, people forget about Walker.
That's true.
Bro, it's like
none of them niggas got TM 101 though. Ain't but one nigga in Atlanta made that album. It's one nigga in Atlanta that made that. And that was the soundtrack for the biggest fucking drug cartel in American history that was all in the streets of Atlanta. It's people that live by that album. So I have to leave Gucci off, dude.
It's tough, man. But y'all let us know in the comments, man, who's on the Atlanta Mount Rushmore, hip hop, rap only, no producers, no execs. Let us know, man. What we got, some wins, some losses?
Facts, man. Wins and some losses. That was a really good one right there, AB. That should embrace some debate out there in the chat. Y'all tap in on the Instagrams and the YouTubes and all of that stuff. First win or a loss. Your man, speaking of Memphis, NLE Chopper, he was the first rapper to walk out with an NBA team. Win or a loss?
It's a W, man. We're about to see a whole lot more of this.
What was it like, boxing? I missed this.
Yeah, like he literally, when the team walk out from the tunnel, he led them singing this song.
What team was it? The
Grizzlies?
Grizzlies?
Yes.
Home team.
When they have Finesse come out with him, I'm gonna be all on board.
He need to hit first.
It's gonna hit tough. Win or a loss for you, Nick? What'd you say?
That's a win. It's a win. A nigga like NLE Chopper, like growing up, would be like, man, my wildest dream would be to lead the Memphis. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And he's actually doing that. So I love seeing that type of shit where he'd be like, bro, I can't imagine I'm doing that shit. You know what I mean?
He did it with a street record too. That's not like a commercial song. It ain't got no hook or nothing.
If you go to the Grizzlies arena, bro, they play nothing but nigga music.
I was gonna say the Grizzlies the blackest team in the NBA. It's the Grizzlies or the Hawks. Yeah, like either one.
Might be the blackest team in sports.
Yeah, facts. That is a fact. All right, win or a loss. All right, here's a whole little thing behind this one. Win or a loss for Wayne. They claim that he didn't clear a lollipop sample for Lotto's upcoming album. Lotto responded and said, there is no lollipop sample. Joke's on you, bloggers. Win or a loss for her even having to deal with this since the Nicki Minaj shade?
It's a L. Lotto, she over the internet. Yes. She hopped on Instagram Live, which I promptly attended. And she was just talking about how she don't really like to go on live because people be screen recording her stuff and then putting weird ass YouTube videos around it. And I think she's over the whole. And when you add this to somebody tried to smash for a feature debacle with her album earlier this year, I think she's over the whole just rap game part of shit. So it's an L for her. I know she's tired of that shit.
Big facts. Nick, what you say?
I think it's a if I had to pick the two, it's a loss, but it's more of a loss more so now. It makes me think like this is probably why female rappers don't last that long, because they deal with a lot more bullshit and just gossip in general. They just get over it. Like it's really hard. Like obviously there's a lot of money in music if you do it right, and she's been doing it right, but like all that shit, you have to kind of sell like your personality, yourself a little bit. And most of these motherfuckers, like especially someone like Lotto, look like she's like a legit Atlanta native, so like she can get over shit quickly and be like, all right, fuck all y'all, I'm done.
That's an interesting point. I never really thought of what you said about the females having to deal with a lot more and why they're not being a lot of stars. Because even Glorilla right now, she dealing with the thing with
she over it.
Yeah, she over it, and
that's what I'm saying. Like these is regular, like artists like Nicki, they could do it because they love it and they get energy off of it. But like when you get these real artists, what people like want to see more and more, like when you see Lil Babies and you see all these artists like that actually you are in your neighborhood. Yeah, no one likes that fame shit for real. Like especially this day and age, you just want the money, nigga. Like I don't give a fuck about everybody knowing my name and all that shit. Like, I just want them checks.
I still want to go shop and shit, nigga. All right.
Low-key, Lollipop hasn't aged well. I don't know when the last time y'all listened to it, but that song is...
Oh, bro. I did a shout out to the Dead End guys, man. I got crucified for playing Lollipop in one of the Odd Fridays, the contest they have like verses. Well, I got crucified. So I know Lollipop is not aged well.
It's a good verse record to pick, but as a song itself, yes, it did not age well.
Trash. Jesus Christ. I'd never play that again. Win or a loss before we get out of here. Nas and Yo Gotti produced a civil rights documentary called The Invaders. Are y'all here for that?
Yeah, maybe. I think about it.
I ain't really here for no Yo Gotti civil rights documentary. I ain't gonna lie.
But it's supposed to focus around the Memphis civil rights leaders, which is why how he got involved with it. Okay. So maybe I'm not a big history buff. I'm gonna keep it a stack, but I may check it out.
Yeah, it's about 4 or 5 months too early. Black History Month is not around the corner, bro. They should have dropped this around then. It will make more sense. This, bro, Halloween about to kick off. Nobody the only ghosts and spirits and old niggas we want to hear about is zombies. This is they need to push this back.
I agree. This topic more so like I feel like if Yo Gotti's involved with it, people really don't know the rich history of Memphis music, like how black people played an instrumental role in Elvis and all of that shit. So I feel like it could have been more music based, but I ain't they producer.
It sounds like you ain't about to listen. You ain't about to check it out.
I ain't fucking with this at all.
Somebody gonna have to tell me it's like complete flames.
Bro, I was into the Supreme team and wanted to know about that, and they dropped the ball on that. So
I try to watch that, man. I was like,
tell me Nas involved. I'm like, nope. If somebody got to tell me, it's great. AB, who is the on decker of the week? Week.
Man, let's go to YouTube, man, for some comments. Shout out to Cashville 10. He said, damn, them IG workouts from AB really paying off. I thought that was Spike at first. First of all, he could never grow a beard like this. Let's be very clear. No, but I appreciate that, Cashville 10. Also, Reed said another fire episode. Y'all need to watch that Ye Drink Champs interview, especially UAB. He talks about who's really making money off Black pain. Don't let these blogs and clips on the internet twist the narrative. Everything he say, he give an explanation for. Yeah. And he also said we need that Biggie and Pac B-side episodes too. So shout out to Reed. Unfortunately, the internets have already done their have already reclaimed that Drink Champs episode. It is now in the oblivion somewhere. So I didn't get a chance to watch it, and I might not ever because it looks like it's not on the internet no more.
My homeboy got a link if you need it.
Oh shit! All right, shit. Say less. I do want to check it out though. Even though I'm over the Kanye interview shit, I've been over that for a while now. But I don't want to fall for the clips because I know how the internet does, and I would like to see the full body of work before.
He does allude to what they say though. Like it's like when you hear him long-winded, it makes more sense. It's just that in the middle of that, he has these outbursts where he says crazy shit, and you be like, all right, this is the reason why motherfuckers don't. This is where they clip your shit right here.
Yep. Yeah. Is he canceled? Is he about to get canceled, or is he already there?
He's too big. He's Michael Jackson level.
Like, niggas love an apology tour, bro. Like soon as that nigga start crying on somebody's couch, now everybody gonna be right back accepting of him. Oh, old Kanye is back. All they gotta do is throw on a polo, put on a backpack again, dude. Start wearing like shit like, man, bro, he's not canceled at all. People so fickle nowadays.
What you got to put me on in, bro?
Put on of the week for me, man. I'm on chapter 10 of this Cross the Tracks. It's Lil Bootsy's autobiography, man, and I am thoroughly enjoying it. It's a memoir of Bootsy Badass. So you guys go check that out. I'm listening to it on Audible, but the hard copy and all of that stuff is out there too. It's called Cross the Tracks by Lil Bootsy.
Is he narrating it?
No. God no, but the nigga doing it ain't much better though. It's really it's okay. It's like real surface level. It ain't as deep as I thought. Like I was looking for him to define some of the characters that I've listened to and heard about through his music for so long, but he really just kind of glossing over shit. But it's okay.
Fair enough, Nicki. What you got?
Random TV show on Hulu. I know I was off air. Me and Lou always go back and forth on shows, and I always try to recommend them black shows, and he always shit on them. But on Hulu, there's a show that I actually fuck with. I don't know why, because it's just an interesting show. But it's called Reasonable Doubt. I don't know if y'all seen it or seen a promo for it, but it's actually pretty interesting. The production it's well done. It's still some nigga storylines, but it's actually like interesting and shit like that. So I'm not fully done with the first season yet. I think they're still dropping on Tuesdays and shit. But yeah, check that out.
It's getting a lot of buzz though. I definitely been seeing it around. Man, real quick, I'm gonna put on some music. I have Sayari the Kid, one of the most slept on artists, probably one of my favorite underground independent artists. He's got the Shadow in the Shade 2, the follow-up to the first joint that came out earlier this year that was also fire. He is cooking with hot grease. Stop sleeping on Sayari the Kid.
You and Big Jeff are in the front seat of that bandwagon for Sayari, man. That is crazy. Y'all might be the only two niggas listening to that. I ain't gonna lie to you. Now, the last one you put me on was okay, too. Nicki Dusse, man, we appreciate you stopping by, joining us with the Jeezy review. Tell the people where they can find you throughout the week and on your socials.
Yeah, socials. You can find me on Twitter, WESISI number 11. And also you can find me on the Frames Per Second podcast. We've been having Lou come through a lot lately for the Raising Canaan reviews. We're a film and TV show podcast where we review films and TV shows. So send us recommendation. FPS Podcast is our handle. There's also, you can find us on Reddit. We're very active in the Reddit community. Lou can attest to that as well. Then you also catch me on Dead End Sports. So I also co-host a sports show with Lou on Tuesday evenings. Check us out 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Dead End Sports. So just check us out from there, and yeah, you'll hear me all over the place. I'm hoping to come back. I gotta bring me back more often, bro. I fuck with y'all.
This flow really cohesively, so you can come back more often. And for the On Deckers, Frames Per Second is sort of similar to what me and AB do. They do it very well. How they break down the TV, they give you a good dose of ratchetness and conversation with it as well, man. So if you're looking for some film and TV reviews, definitely check out that.
Our House of the Dragon, our season.
Dragons, you black and you look at House of the Dragons, man. You need to be listening to Frames Per Second, 100%.
Season finale dropping soon.
Yes.
Thank God.
Brian shaking his head. You sleep on that, AB.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay knocked out on that.
It's medieval Mari, bro. It's medieval Mari.
It's mid. Is what it is. It's mid.
Let me get up out of here.
Get out of here. This is the On Deck TV show, man. You guys know where to catch us. We out.
Yes, sir.